All right, what's up guys? 2.5 years ago, this guy had no money, no real coding background, and a half-broken confidence from past failures. And then he built an AI product in 8 weeks that now does over $1 million a year, which is roughly $100,000 a month. But what's more interesting isn't the revenue, it's why it took off. He spotted a very specific gap in how people were using AI. He packaged multiple tools into one stop paying for 6 subscriptions solution, and he launched with customers on day 1. He didn't pre-sale. This is the real breakdown of how Dustin built Magai, and from his background to the idea, to the build process, to the growth levers that pushed it to scale. So let's get into this. Dustin didn't come from the Silicon Valley pipeline. He grew up in a small town in Pennsylvania, in a household where his parents worked hard just to keep things steady. His first dream wasn't SaaS, it was actually acting. So he moved to California, tried the whole actor route, and ended up hating the waiting tables and hoping lifestyle. And that's when he pivoted into business and he found a real knack for social media marketing and tech. He taught himself web design, marketing, and eventually started an agency. But guys, this is a detail that matters. His first product went back to 2014. It was a WordPress plugin company with partners. And that partnership eventually faded, he exited. He said he's a perfectionist, and an agency work didn't scale for him because it was always one client at a time. So he shifted towards digital products, and then he tried a couple more product ideas, and well, he failed hard. He described reaching a point where he genuinely wasn't sure if he had anything left, but he kept moving anyways. And by the way guys, I offer one-to-one mentoring and app development in the description below. Whether it's your first customer or you're already at 3K per month and just want to hit 10K per month, doesn't matter the phase you're in, because I walked the same path that you're on right now, all the way to listing my SaaS for sale to private equity. So this is only for the serious people who want to speed up their growth. Let's get back into the video. For you guys watching at home, I want you to think of a time you failed twice and still had to keep momentum, even when your confidence was gone. Because guys, that emotional part matters more than people want to admit. So Dustin had lived through multiple tech waves already. So when he started using ChatGPT early, he felt like he could see where things were headed. And what he noticed wasn't some deep technical insight, it was friction. It was basic quality of life problems. You couldn't search chats at that time, and you couldn't organize chats into folders. You didn't feel like a workspace, it felt like a chat box. And those little problems started piling up. He noticed the second problem, which was the one that became the real business hook. People weren't just going to use one AI tool. They were gonna need like 5 or 6 subscriptions just to get the best of everything. One for a top LLM, one for images, one for video, another for audio, and so on. And he basically asked, what if I bundle the best models into one dashboard and people pay 1 subscription instead of 6? That's the core idea behind Magai, guys. It wasn't AI is hot, let me build something real quick. It was AI's fragmenting into a subscription nightmare, and I can simplify it. Now, here's the part most people skip over, guys. He wasn't a developer. He didn't have money to hire one either. So he had to build it himself without lighting cash on fire. He found an online course, learned fast, and built his MVP in 8 weeks using Bubble, which back then when you didn't have Cursor, 8 weeks was pretty fast for Bubble, a no-code tool. By the way, that's the tool I used to hit 10K MRR. I would not recommend using it now, but that goes to show his work ethic back then. Then he launched expecting nobody to buy, and the first numbers came in, which is month 1, 3K, month 2, 4K per month, month 3, 10K per month, and year 1, 30K per month. And guys, that timeline matters because it proves something. This wasn't build for a year, then market. No, he launched early, got signal, and then iterated while revenue climbed. And with you guys, I want you guys to think of the time you shipped something earlier than you wanted, and it worked because you didn't wait to perfect it. And I know what you guys are thinking. A lot of people hear 100K per month and assume some secret marketing hack. Guys, Dustin's growth was way simpler, but it was harder to copy if you don't have the foundation. He credited 3 main drivers. 1, he'd been building in public for a decade. He had a personal blog and an email list with over 100,000 subscribers accumulated over time. So when Magai launched, he didn't launch into silence. He launched into an audience that already trusted him. This is why you'll see some founders blow up fast, but it's not actually fast. It's stacked momentum. And he also launched an affiliate program that was also recurring, which is very different from a normal affiliate program. It was very smart. So it wasn't just a one-time payout, meaning if someone refers a subscriber and that subscriber pays every month, the affiliate gets paid every month too, and that turns customers into marketers. So he emphasized this a lot. He had friends who were strong marketers and he built genuine relationships over years. That creates distribution you can't fake with ads. And this part is where it's relevant for me to mention, if you don't have the audience, guys, and you don't have the technical side, you basically have two options. One is build your distribution while you learn, and two, to shortcut the build by working with someone who can help you ship faster. That's literally why I do mentorship and why I've built apps for clients who didn't want to become developers just to get a product out. Because guys, most people don't fail from a bad idea, they fail because they can't get to version 1 with enough speed. So what does Magai actually do? At a glance, it looks like a normal chat interface, but the difference is in the model access. Instead of being locked into one company's AI model, Magai gives you a menu of top models, and you can switch between them inside the same dashboard. So you can start a conversation with one model and then switch to another model without leaving the product. And it's not just text either. He said they also include image and video models, so you can generate visuals inside the same workflow, which at the time was very high level, guys. So what is the tech stack? I mentioned Bubble for the front end and app logic, Stripe for payments, ConvertKit for email, OpenRouter as a central way to access multiple LLMs via one API layer, another model hub for image, video, audio models, and for the analytics, he uses SEO tools like Google Analytics and Ahrefs. So guys, it's basically one subscription, many models, one workspace. And to break down his monetization, it was not freemium, it didn't have a complicated webinar funnel, he just had paid plans. $20 a month for solo users, $40 a month for teams. And if you wanted an extra team member, that's an extra $20 per month. And it also scales with larger organizations. So the pricing matches the positioning. Pay once instead of stacking subscriptions. And that was his main selling point with this website. So guys, at the end, Dustin mentioned something that hits way harder than the usual work hard advice. He said the biggest issue founders face is letting past failures define them. Because he's had success early, then he had multiple failures. And guys, those failures messed with his confidence so much that he started to internalize rejection like it was personal. And his takeaway was basically people rejected the product, they didn't reject you. And that's real founder talk for my founders out there, because most people don't stop building from lack of ideas. They stopped building because the last failure makes the next attempt feel completely pointless. So guys, if you're listening or watching this at home, I want you guys to think of a rejection or flop that felt personal at the time and how you learn to separate my idea failed from I failed. That's it for today's video. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.